My name is Willow Rose Moondancer, and I make videos here on YouTube about Wicca. Today, since we're getting a little bit closer to Valentine's Day, I wanted to make a video tribute to one of the deities that I enjoy worshiping. I follow the Greek pantheon, and so today I want to talk a little bit about Aphrodite. She's a very big part of who I am as a person. She influences me and my choices a lot. And she was a really big part of my Reiki journey when I was learning my placements. There was a lot of points in time where we had to do meditations, and she was in my meditations quite a lot. So I'm going to start off by talking about some things she's associated with. I want to talk about the myth about her birth, and then we might go into a ritual and maybe a spell or something that we can do to honor her as well. So firstly, for associations, she's the goddess of love, beauty, pleasure, sensuality, and procreation. Her symbol is the conch shell. Her sacred animal is the dove and goose, and her sacred plants is myrtle and a rose. Essentially, the myth around her birth, firstly, I apologize if I pronounce anything wrong. I am terrible at reading, but bear with me. So essentially, there was this deity, presumably probably a titan, named Ouranos, A-U-R-A-N-O-S. And he was trying to get intimate with Gaia, and when Ouranos decided to expose himself, Kronos, his son, ambushed him and cut off his genitals, and then promptly threw those genitals into the ocean. And as soon as they landed in the ocean, the water enveloped them, and a water, like white foam, spread from it, and then out popped Aphrodite from the ocean. And that is the myth on how she was born. So yeah, now we will talk about a ritual. I'm going to I don't know if I'm going to go into absolute detail or not, but I will leave a link down below to my blog post that I actually wrote last year, which is what I'm basing this video off of. So when it comes to things you'll need a candle placed in the center of your kitchen table. You'll need incense, preferably frankincense. And then the third thing you're going to need is a meal offering or a symbolic offering, such as olive oil, salt, bread, wine, that kind of thing. So you're going to decorate your altar, your kitchen table, whatever it is, with symbols of Aphrodite, images of her, flowers, images of doves, swans, sparrows, or maybe you'll have their feathers, or seashells you could have to decorate. And you're going to begin by washing your hands with soap and water, or with salt or a sugar scrub. Then you're going to light the incense, and you're going to cleanse the area around yourself. You can opt out of this. Instead, you can create a sacred circle, and then you can set the incense back on the altar and let it continue to burn. You're going to light the second candle, and you're going to say, "Aphrodite, I come before you on this day in joy and thankfulness." And then you can recite a prayer to Aphrodite. You can come up with something from your heart, whether it's pre-written or you can say it on the fly. Or you could also recite either the Orphic hymn to Aphrodite or the Homeric hymn to Aphrodite, which I'm sure you can look up. And then you're going to list the blessings that you have received from Aphrodite in the past year and talk about the challenges in the coming year, and then you can present your offerings. And then you'll have your libations. So you would say, "Aphrodite, and thanks for your many gifts as I have just related, I pour out this libation to you. And then you can drink the rest, saying, by the will of the gods, I have this wine, juice, whatever you're having, that I need not know thirst. And then you would have your feast. So you take your bread and you dip it in the olive oil and you can sprinkle it with salt. You place a bit of it in the libation bowl or the offering dish, and then you eat the rest. And then you say, by the will of the gods, I have food to fill my belly that I need not know hunger. And then to close up the ritual, you would say, Aphrodite, I thank you for hearing my prayer. And then you snuff out the candle and you put out the incense and you take the water, the libation, and the offering outside. And you could also have a feast for Aphrodite. So as we know, Aphrodite is the goddess of love and sensuality and all great passions. And so it is appropriate for her to be invited to any feast celebrating these things. And food is, of course, an appropriate offering to her. So Aphrodite says, love what you eat what you love, and bring all your senses to the table. She's a very appropriate goddess for the sensual kitchen witch. She is especially associated with apples due to the story of the golden apple. So Paris tossed an apple into the crowd of goddesses with a note that said, for the fairest, and Paris was selected to choose which goddess got the apple, and he chose Aphrodite. And really this was him choosing the instrument of his doom. As a reward, he won the love of the most beautiful woman in the world, Helen, Queen of Sparta, who was already married to a warlord, or rather the brother of a warlord. Thus the Trojan War began. And some modern scholars insist that the golden apple was in fact a quince. Some food to avoid when you're honoring Aphrodite is pork, as it was a wild boar that killed her beloved Adonis. And some foods that are associated with Aphrodite and are great for honoring her are foods that are associated with her planet Venus. So a good appetizer, you could have toast or crackers with rose hip jelly, brie and strawberries, or goose liver pate. You could have a soup, like a creamy seafood bisque. You could have a salad, which could be an arugula and fruit salad with almonds. You could have grilled oyster or steamed mussels and grilled tomatoes over an herb butter pasta. You could have fava beans with thyme or asparagus bundles for your main course. For a dessert, you could have wine-steeped pears garnished with candied violets served with chai. And there's tons and tons of other things you could do. You could do strawberries dipped in chocolate as well. Any sort of aphrodisiac would be a good thing to eat during this time. And there's also a love spell on the article that I'm going to share with you guys down in the description box, but I don't think I'm going to go through the process of telling you about it. But yeah, that is all I have for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you check out my Instagram at Willow Rose Moon Dancer so you can stay up to date with me and my everyday life. Make sure you leave a like down below if you like videos like these ones where I dedicate a video to a god or a goddess. And lastly, don't forget to subscribe because I make videos every Tuesday, every Thursday, and every Sunday. And until next time, blessed be.